The Biden administration finds a happy place in doing more stimulus across the board. Two executive orders announced yesterday that increases stimulus, and this amid congressional leaders asking for more stimulus as well. Meantime, the nation crippled by a massive Arctic blast across the Midwest, and the situation's not yet improving. Elsewhere, stocks take a tumble. Bitcoin goes up to $50,000, but Tesla sees it's heading to the worst resistance level in recent days. Elsewhere, the question is how quickly and how soon. Congressional leaders, Chuck Schumer has a press conference reassuring Americans stimulus is on its way, but how soon? I have all the details for you in a big recording, Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Early Mornings LA, the 6 a.m. edition. The toast is toasted, the butter is buttered. I'm here, you're here, but I don't see any bacon. I'm so glad you joined me on the start of a double header. I'm back here at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in about 15 minutes from now with the second part of this broadcast. If you did not watch Overnight's LA, catch it with EIDL and FPUC currently on the channel. Last night as well, Hazapay. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you didn't notice, we're at 99 million views on the path to 100 million views. We're just a few inches away, so make sure we get it to that benchmark. 100 million views in 9 months, never ever seen anything close to it in the history of YouTube. Help us reach that benchmark. Also, if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The link is at the top of the chat and also in the pinned comment. Over there, it's in chat. You can chat with your Purple Power buddies, the same wonderful group of 60,000 people who tune in every morning on Early Mornings LA. Chat about what you think about the snow drift and what you think about the weekend, because they're expecting another onslaught of Arctic air. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news, of course, is that Arctic cold blast. It's crippled the Midwest. An executive order and an emergency relief is on its way from President Joe Biden, but 4 million people remained without power yesterday. The number's expected to continue today. This is amid power grids, refineries taken offline, no preparation in place for something like this, and the situation has not particularly improved. But it's expected to warm up slightly today in the area, which may give some relief to get the power grids back up online before another blast is on its way. The day will start additionally with great economic progress, we believe, as consumer spending number will be in. The consumer spending number, which is a monthly number for January, will be reported shortly after this broadcast. It'll come out at 5:30 a.m. on the West Coast, 8:30 a.m. on the East Coast today. It's a covered January retail sales, which are expected to rise 1.2%. That's the estimate of Wall Street, after a shocking 0.7% decline in December. This will ultimately help gauge the issue of stimulus. If the number comes consistent, you're still getting stimulus. If the number is worse than anticipated, which it may very well be, you're going to see a big cry and shout for massive stimulus. The last time something like this happened was in January, when we had the job creation number, which is a monthly number. It showed a mere 6,000 private sector jobs created in the month of January, to which Joe Biden said, we can't do this. At this rate, we'll be at this for 10 years. So let's see what this number says. Chief economist at Amherst Pierpoint, Stephen Stanley, says, I think the narrative is that things turned around. November, December went quite negative. As the virus was gaining momentum, people were hunkering down. In January, you had an unwind of that to little extent. But, certain senators are just not happy with the situation left or right. And so what they're saying is bigger stimulus, go bigger, go bold. This is too narrow. Three members of the Senate are vowing, who are Democrats, of course, who are vowing to vote against the $1.9 trillion stimulus package when it lands in the Senate. And that will be February 22nd. It has a $1,400 stimulus check for individuals, $1,400 for children, $1,400 for adults, $1,400 for adult dependents, $2,800 for married couple. But if you're a parent of 7, congratulations, you could see $35,000. Yes, a child 5 to newborn will get a $5,000 stimulus check. How is that calculated? It's $1,400 stimulus check plus a $3,600 child tax credit, which will be paid as an advance. It'll start being paid in the month of July, $300 a month for 12 months. If you have a kid that is 17 to 6, you'll get $250 a month or $3,000 over the 12-month span. If you're a college student, you're going to see $1,400 plus $1,700, $1,700 of financial aid. And if you are a hazard pay worker who made less than $25,000 in the pandemic, 2019 or 2020 earnings, you could see $1,500 for that as a tax credit next year, plus $1,400. Business owners could see $5,000 as a business grant under the EIDL program and $1,400 for themselves as well. SSI and SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, is not included in the $1.9 trillion stimulus package, has not been mentioned by the president, but the push is underway to get him to remember. And ultimately, this channel has found the easiest path to get it done. What is that path? Elizabeth Warren's March 2020 bill, which just needs to get redated and reintroduced to the Senate. She wrote the bill. It has all the provisions covered on this channel. $200 a month on top of your existing benefits. A new benchmark, COLA, replaced with CPIE. And an increase, lifetime, up to 20%. They're all in there. She just has to reintroduce the bill to the Senate. And guess what? She did that just 2 weeks ago. She did that with her standalone bill of a $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness. That's in the Senate as well, along with the baby bill. Meantime, the Arctic cold has taken its freeze across the country, but the cold is hitting Tesla stock. Tesla broke its resistance level yesterday, falling next $20 down to $7.96. And it's looking at that next resistance level at $7.93. It's over less than $1 away from it in after-hours trading. $6.40 would be the resistance level after that. Apple is down $2 to $133. Western Alliance continues to be this big surprise. Up another $233. It's been up $11 in just recent weeks, up to $80. Microsoft down $1 and change, and Walmart up $1 and change to $145. Meantime, Verizon shares surged after hours last night as Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company, confirmed it had bought a big stake. It had already owned 8.6 billion, but it bought another 146 million shares. Also, Berkshire Hathaway confirmed that it had bought a major share of Chevron. That company rose 2%. Also rising on yesterday, was Bitcoin shares. Bitcoin shares rose to $50,000. But the cold freeze continues to cripple the Midwest. 4 million without power in Texas. The grid spanning 14 states from North Dakota to Oklahoma, the Southwest powerful pole, still out. 800 record colds per day. And if you have a cold, you may want to go to CVS Health. But CVS killed it in earnings reports. CVS, which has been administering the vaccine and the virus and the test for COVID, saw record improvement and crushed earnings and revenue reports. Meantime, the President of the United States issued 2 major executive orders yesterday, and they all will impact Your stimulus. What were they? One, he announced a major rollout of vaccines to pharmacies and retail operations, basically doubling his number of the week before. That program has been a big success. Before that, vaccines were being administered by counties and cities, which was a big failure. They were slow, they were mismanaged, and people weren't getting vaccinated. The Biden administration made a complete change of a direction and gave the vaccine doses to pharmacies like CVS, Walgreens, which are now administering them on the street corners at the pharmacy street corner across the country. It's been a success, and so the Biden administration ramped up that number. Now the Biden camp confirms 100 million vaccinations will be achieved in 100 days. He's going to make that benchmark and will surpass it. But he could actually blow it out of the water. There are reports now that the entire U.S. population could get vaccinated by July. Then he announced a major executive order yesterday, and that executive order was extending the foreclosure ban. Now, foreclosures have several things at issue. There's a foreclosure moratorium, and then there's mortgage money. Under the $1.9 trillion stimulus package, there's a massive amount of mortgage money for all mortgage holders, whether it's private or federally backed mortgages. Yesterday's executive order was the latest stimulus announcement by the president, and it extends the ban on foreclosures to June 2021. It allows homeowners to enroll in mortgage payment forbearance programs to June 2021. It extends the forbearance program an additional 6 months. As President Biden has made clear, it's urgent that we help homeowners through this country who are struggling financially from this unprecedented national emergency. These steps were taken today to provide immediate relief to those in desperate need, said Matthew Allen, acting HUD secretary. That was how Tuesday started. Let's see what happens with Wednesday. If you don't know if your mortgage is held by Freddie or Fannie, you can go to their websites. They got an online tool to track who owns your mortgage. Extending the forbearance available on federally backed mortgages is a critical importance to preserve the homeownership of millions of Americans, said Bankrate's Chief Financial Officer Greg McBride. Elsewhere, the questions across the board is how soon? How soon would the stimulus come? When is it coming? And that is sort of a mixed message. After a week in which we saw only impeachment hearings, people wondered, what's going off Congress? Are they focusing on me? Are they focusing on you? And this is after 2 in 5 jobless Americans, or more than 4 million people, are facing long-term unemployment numbers. Well, yesterday, Congress changed course, with Chuck Schumer having a major press conference saying, we're focused on stimulus and we're focused on doing it right away. President Biden's message just a few days earlier was, we saw the jobs report, 6,000 private sector jobs will be created, and at that rate, it's going to take 10 years to get it revamped. Ultimately, the big question is who and where are the job creations going to come? Because the issue of vaccination is one thing, but the ability to have jobs long-term is another. Despite the surprising speed of recovery early on, we're still very far from a strong labor market, said Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, just days ago. Ultimately, the big question to be answered throughout this day and throughout the rest of the day is, when are we going to see that third stimulus package bill? You want to see it. You want to see it because ultimately it will determine a lot of things we don't know about. And the video after this, I'll go over the third stimulus package items that you and I are wondering about. Hazard pay, EIDL, business grants, earned income tax credit, adult dependent stimulus check. A lot of things unanswered, and we need those answers. And I'll help find those answers for you in the recording after this on the continuation of Early Mornings LA. Stay informed, stay focused. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Stay with me, and I'll see you on the continuation of Early Mornings LA.